There is no doubt that plastic is one of the most pervasive materials on the planet and a serious environmental pollutant. Plastic packaging is used extensively as a versatile and affordable solution for a variety of applications, to the extent that we produce more than 380 million tons of plastic on an annual basis. This is a shocking statistic, especially when it's taken into account that plastics take hundreds of years to decompose. As they break down, these plastics pollute oceans, forests and deserts, and are then ingested by wildlife and inevitably by humans as well. Studies have already indicated that we inhale and ingest tens of thousands of plastic particles every year. With these statistics in mind, we're going to be exploring the extent to which plastic packaging is harmful to human health. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're passionate about knowledge and learning. We have so much more content lined up for you. Rather than naturally degrading and reabsorbing, plastics take centuries to crumble apart, during which they release minuscule pieces of microplastics into the environment. Existing plastic packaging is just beginning to fragment, and as more and more of these fragments are released into the environment, we're becoming increasingly exposed to plastic particles as they seep their way into our water supplies, the air we breathe, as well as our food chain. At the moment, our approach with regard to plastic is incredibly narrow in its scope. We continue to indiscriminately produce plastic packaging, not only wasting valuable limited resources during the manufacturing process, but also refusing to devise an effective solution when it comes to disposal and recycling. There is no doubt that plastic is an international risk, not only to the integrity of our planet, but also to the health and welfare of its biodiversity, and humans are certainly no exception. Countless studies and reports have warned that plastic packaging is a human health crisis that is unfolding on a global scale. In order to understand the complexity and severity of the problem, it's crucial that we understand the risk plastic packaging poses to life, from the moment its raw materials are extracted to when it is discarded and left to decompose for centuries. Typically, fossil fuels comprise the raw materials used for producing plastic packaging. The associated extraction processes for oils and gases release significant volumes of toxic substances into the air and water. Hydraulic fracking is particularly harmful, and the hundreds of chemicals that are generated during fracking are proven to have a detrimental impact on human health. The effects of these toxic chemicals have been extensively documented in medical literature, including but not limited to the impairment of the immune system, respiratory and gastrointestinal difficulties, as well as reproductive and developmental toxicity. When these fossil fuels are then used for the production of plastics in refinement facilities, even greater volumes of toxins are released into our environment. Many of these substances are carcinogenic, meaning that they can lead to the development of cancerous tumors and leukemia, alongside a range of impairments, conditions and diseases. Prolonged exposure is particularly concerning for those employed in these industries, as well as any neighboring communities that are in close proximity to these facilities. Eventually, these plastics enter the market and our homes as products and packaging. Using these plastics results in excessive amounts of ingestion and inhalation, not only of microplastics but also dozens of toxic substances which are either known or suspected to seriously affect human health. Once we've thrown away this plastic packaging, it continues to cause significant damage in the last stage of its life cycle, however, a stage which just happens to last for hundreds of years. Every type of plastic waste management technology releases even more toxic chemicals into the atmosphere, including metals such as lead and mercury, acidic gases, as well as organic materials. These will often leach into the surrounding air, water and soils, exposing not only those who have direct contact with these toxins, but also anyone who happens to ingest any food that was grown or raised in an environment that has been polluted by these substances. As microplastic particles degrade, contaminate and accumulate in our environment, our levels of exposure will continue to rise and lead to an array of potentially debilitating health issues. By acknowledging and understanding the processes that occur during each stage of the plastic packaging life cycle, we can implement solutions, strategies and legislation that will at least control the number of microplastics that are rapidly building up, not only within our environment, but within our bodies as well. It is essential that we address the plastic life cycle in its entirety so that we can begin to reduce the demand for and production of plastic packaging, whilst also finding ways to reduce the impact of microplastics that have already infiltrated into our environments and our bodies. If you have an inquisitive and curious mind, then you've come to the right place. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel to be informed, intrigued and fascinated.